President of the Republic of Kenya and Party Leader of UDA, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Honorable Senator Dr. Oburu Oginga, the Party Leader of ODM, distinguished Honorable Members of Parliament, and Kenyans. We, as the committee overseeing the implementation of the 10-point agenda, are glad to come before you to make this presentation. Various key issues that are marked as achievements have been enumerated by His Excellency the Deputy President, and I will not go much into that. And given that all of us here have got copies of this 10-point agenda, I'll only make brief highlights under each section. The building of a nation is a project that never comes to an end, and that is why His Excellency President William Ruto has committed to put in place critical measures to ensure that Kenya moves forward, and as he has spoken numerous times, to move Kenya into a first world country within our lifetime. Kenya has experienced various political crises and challenges, and these challenges have led many times political leaders to come together to bridge the divide so that we get to have amicable solutions. And that's why the NADCO team was formed. It presented a report which was adopted by Parliament in February 2024. And later on, to its implementation, and also following the challenges that bedeviled this country, we had UDA and ODM come together with a view to resolve some of the socio-political and economic challenges that this country has faced. The coming together between ODM and UDA was predicated on the signing of an MOU with a 10-point agenda, and these particular 10 points include the full implementation of the NADCO report, inclusivity in all spheres of public life, protecting and strengthening devolution, promoting and protecting the livelihood of the youth, leadership and integrity, the right to peaceful assembly, and Article 37 of the Constitution, and compensation of victims of protests and riots. Fight against corruption, stopping wastage of public resources, protecting and promoting sovereignty of the people and the rule of law and constitutionalism. Those are the 10-point agenda issues. As the Chair has indicated, the committee over the last 6 or 7 months has engaged with various implementing agencies, among them the Executive Office of the President, the Legislature, the Judiciary, county governments as implementing agencies, constitutional commissions, and independent offices. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a number of achievements that the committee has recorded, significant achievements on the implementation of the 10-point agenda. I will take just a few minutes to speak to them. The Parliament received 9 bills from NADCO, and various of these bills have been considered and at various stages of implementation and consideration by Parliament. So far, 3 bills have been enacted into law, including the IBC Amendment Bill 2023 and the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill 2023 and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Bill 2023. Those have fully been implemented and no further action is needed. We have got 2 other bills that are under mediation, including the Elections Amendment Bill 2023 and Election Offences Bill 2023. IBC has been fully constituted and it's carrying on with its mandate. We have seen conducting of by-elections, and IBC also has commenced the process that will lead into the delimitation of boundaries, and it has laid out a clear time frame under which that will be done. The PBO Act that enables civil societies to solicit for funds and implement various social projects has been operationalized by President William Ruto's administration. Presently, there is also the process of legislation to harmonize bicameral relations to ensure that the National Assembly and the Senate get to work harmoniously for the greater good of the country. Under the entrenchment of funds into the Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, the Constitution Amendment Bill on the entrenchment of the NGCDF, the GAF, the Senate Oversight Fund, and County Ward Fund is under consideration by Parliament presently. The Court of Appeal has pronounced itself and determined that NGCDF does not violate the Constitution. Agenda 2 and its implementation, inclusivity in all spheres of public life. Key achievements, and I'll just make brief highlights because many of them have been stated by His Excellency the Deputy President. The launch of the National Policy on Ethnic Minorities and Marginalized Communities was done in 2025, December, by His Excellency the President. 500 million shillings scholarship program has been railroaded by the same policy. The same policy creates the Directorate for Minorities and Marginalized Communities under the Executive Office of the President. On economic inclusion, ladies and gentlemen, measures to reduce the cost of living, we have seen the fertilizer subsidy program, which has lowered the cost of fertilizer from 7,000 shillings to 2,500 shillings per bag, which has enabled many farmers to access this. There's 14% reduction in fuel prices and exchange rate gains, which has lowered production, and many Kenyans are now able to travel to work, production by various industries. The costs have gone down, a key success by the broad-based government. Ladies and gentlemen, there is presently the timely payment of social protection stipends by the government alongside salaries. This is done in a very timely way compared to how it used to be in the past, where there were serious delays. And then it has also been streamlined such that it has weeded out fraud. And in the past, many people who are able used also to fraudulently access the social protection funds. This has been weeded out. The Equalization Fund allocation to support development and service delivery in the marginalized areas has been increased from 5 billion shillings to 9.6 billion shillings, a key achievement under the broad-based government. Inclusion in the health sector. The rollout of UHC by transitioning Social Health Insurance Authority has increased healthcare insurance from 7 million, as the Deputy President has indicated, to 29.8 million beneficiaries to date. And this is a key achievement that is on record under the broad-based government. We have got the CHPs, 107,000 of them, 831 have been employed, and people now across all the villages and hamlets in Kenya access primary health care. Share premiums for 1.5 indigents are being paid by the government. When it comes to education as an inclusion aspect, 100,000 teachers have been recruited since 2022. And as the Deputy President indicated, this has largely increased the teacher-student ratio. 23,000 classrooms and 1,000 laboratories are under construction, a major achievement that is ongoing. The committee has also noted that university allocation has increased from 45 billion to 82 billion shillings. The HELP scholarship funding has increased also to 41 billion shillings. These are self-evident achievements under the broad-based government in the period under consideration. Rural and infrastructure inclusion, 260,000 affordable housing units are under construction, creating thousands and thousands of jobs for young people, the youth, and various professionals, architects, lawyers, engineers. And this is a celebrated score of achievement under the broad-based government. 450 markets are being constructed nationwide across all the 47 counties, and 6,000 kilometers of roads under construction. Protection and strengthening devolution. Key implementation here and achievements, Your Excellency, we have had the equitable share revenue to counties increased from 385 billion shillings to 415 billion in the financial year 2025-2026, and in this financial year it's projected that this is going to increase to 450 billion shillings. Access of funds to county governments, and this increase in shareable revenue is a major gain for devolution, and the broad-based government is evidently keen to protect and advance devolution in Kenya. Counties now receive timely monthly disbursements with no pending carryovers as of June 30th, 2025. Your Excellency, under Agenda 4, promoting and protecting livelihoods for young people, we have got many key achievements. So far, for instance, Your Excellency, the committee has recorded that over 90,000 young people from all 1,450 wards are undergoing training in the country. Over 121,000 youth together with 110,000 youth from Kakuma and Dadaab, these are refugee camps, have received business training, mentorship, and startup grants of 25,000 shillings, being an initial of the wholesome 50,000 shillings that they will ultimately receive. Your Excellency, the Nyota program is a major success, which has created opportunities for over 820,000 young entrepreneurs aged between 18 and 29 years. Your Excellency, across all 1,450 wards, there is the 50-50 gender parity, and the Nyota program has really impacted lives of thousands of young people in the country. Additional employment initiatives have created and increased opportunities for young people in the country. 640,000 jobs have been created through affordable housing program, with 7,000 professionals who have been onboarded. Your Excellency, the construction of stadia has also increased the creation of jobs for youth and professionals across the country. 20,000 jobs have been created through the Climate Works program. Under leadership and integrity, Your Excellency, as agenda number 5, the broad-based government has ensured the enactment of the Conflict of Interest Act, which you assented into law on the 30th of July 2025, which has now been operationalized. This act strengthens the government's commitment in combating graft and regulating and reducing conflict of interest within the public sector. Agenda number 6, Your Excellency, the right to peaceful assembly as enshrined in Article 37 of the Constitution, and compensation of victims of protests and riots. The government has set aside 2 billion shillings for compensation of victims of protests in the first supplementary budget of the financial year 2025-2026. This will go for the compensation of victims of protests and human rights violations. Your Excellency, 4 days ago, a panel of experts for compensation of victims was gazetted by the head of public service under a framework that will be developed by the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, and already these railroads the compensation of victims, which has been a key issue raised by even citizens whenever we've been moving around the counties in the public participation process. From 2023 to 2025, IPOA has handled 820 cases of alleged police misconduct during public order management, securing convictions for 35 cases involving 49 officers, and recommending disciplinary action against 30 officers. This has been done by IPOA. The demonstration bill, which sought to restrict the right to assembly of protesters, was withdrawn. This was initially intended to curtail the rights. The Ministry of Interior and National Administration has issued policy directives limiting excessive use of force and strengthening training and retooling of police officers for lawful crowd management. Agenda number 7, Your Excellency, national debt. The broad-based government, ladies and gentlemen, has commissioned a comprehensive forensic audit of the public debt by the Office of the Auditor General to strengthen transparency, verify utilization of borrowed funds, and this has been an issue within the public, the issue of auditing our public debt. The broad-based government as well has reduced reliance on external borrowing by exploring innovative financing mechanisms. And just yesterday, Your Excellency, you signed into law the National Infrastructure Fund Act. Through liability management, the broad-based government has reorganized national debt portfolio to reduce financing risks and minimize the risk of default. There is greater emphasis placed on mobilizing domestic revenue, and this is ongoing under the broad-based government. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, I'll move to the agenda number 8 on the fight against corruption. As I've indicated, the Conflict of Interest Act is now operational, and this is a great effort toward combating graft, which is politically carcinogenic in the country. There is the adoption of the e-government procurement system, which has digitized the entire procurement framework, and from planning, this enhances transparency, accountability, and ensures digital footprints in the procurement process, Your Excellency. Over 23,000 government services have been digitized on each citizen. This has eliminated cash payments across government and middlemen, reducing corruption risks and increasing revenue collection by the government up to date. Your Excellency, the Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Act was assented into law on 17th of June 2025, a great effort as well in strengthening the legal framework combating illicit flow of funds in Kenya, and has supported the exit of Kenya from the grey list of the Financial Action Task Force. Your Excellency, the implementation of the zero-based budgeting has enhanced fiscal discipline and accountability by requiring justification of all public expenditures. The single treasury account system has consolidated government cash collection and management, improved transparency and transaction costs, and minimized idle funds in commercial banks. Your Excellency, as I move towards the end, agenda number 9, stopping of wastage of public resources and promoting of government efficiency. Austerity measures have been put in place, including the removal of budgets, initially in the office of the First Lady, the spouse of the Deputy President, and the spouse of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. A 12-month freeze has been put in place for purchase of government vehicles except security sector vehicles. There is the zero-based budgeting in the financial year 2025-2026, requiring all public expenditure to be justified, as I've indicated. And then presently, the passports processing, the national ID cards processing, all of them have been reduced from 1 month to 1 week, improving access to these services by the citizens of Kenya and reducing corruption. Agenda number 10, Your Excellency, protecting and promoting sovereignty of the people, the rule of law, and constitutionalism. The broad-based government, under your leadership, Your Excellency, has facilitated the judiciary to ensure there is the recruitment of judicial officers. We recently saw the recruitment of 11 Court of Appeal judges, High Court judges. The recruitment process has been ongoing, as well as the magistrates, to improve case handling, reduce backlog of cases, and access to justice by Kenyans. Judicial mobility has been strengthened through the support of the executive to procure vehicles for judicial officers. There is the support to ensure the national e-filing system, which has been implemented, enabling paperless court processes, remote case filing, and virtual hearings. And as we are in the second quarter of the 21st century, utility and dependence on technology is unavoidable. The judiciary as well has achieved near compliance with the 2/3 gender rule, with the 332 women judges and magistrates representing 47% of the bench. To ensure the adherence to the rule of law, the government has adherence to court orders and all decisions of the courts under the broad-based government and under the leadership of His Excellency President William Ruto. Ladies and gentlemen, the committee has made a few key recommendations, which I will speak to briefly. There is need to ensure that the bills that are still pending at various stages in Parliament are fast-tracked. The committee recommends the formation of a broad-based mediation committee between the Senate and the National Assembly to fast-track consideration of those outstanding bills. This committee also urges Parliament to expedite and conclude outstanding NADCO bills within 90 days. To enhance realization of the constitutional rights under Article 37, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights should spearhead legislation to safeguard protesters while protecting livelihoods and property. To fast-track the Natural Resources Amendment Bill 2022, to provide legal framework for equitable distribution of revenues from natural resources among national government county governments and local communities, this bill should also be fast-tracked for implementation. County governments are here urged to implement the National Policy on Ethnic Minorities and Marginalized Communities 2025 to promote inclusivity in governance and public participation. The Attorney General should propose amendments to Section 108 and Section 109 of the County Governments Act 2012 to make county integrated development plans, the CIDPs, long-term plans to be 10-year plans, and sectoral plans to be mid-term plans of 5 years to ensure completion of legacy projects across electoral cycles. This recommendation is to try and make white elephants across county governments to be a thing of the past. To enhance efficiency and credibility in elections, the IEBC should be well-resourced and supported to develop infrastructure and capacity to hold transparent, credible, and verifiable elections as the Constitution provides. We recommend as a committee the establishment of a multi-agency team comprising the National Treasury, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, the Law Society of Kenya, under the leadership of the Office of the Attorney General for the victims' compensation. Well, of course, as I've indicated already, steps in that direction has been taken by the gazettement that was done 4 days ago by the head of public service. To promote access to justice, the Independent Policing and Oversight Authority should conclude investigations into complaints within 6 months and publish its findings. To ensure timely accountability, prosecution and determination of ethics and corruption cases by mandated institutions must be completed within 6 months. Lastly, Your Excellency, the Kenya National Police Service should be well-resourced and supported to strengthen continuous training and retooling of the police for effective crowd management in accordance with the rule of law. Your Excellency, we thank you so much for the time and the responsibility that you have given this committee, and we thank the broad-based government for the support that